10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, welcome to another episode of JBC Podcast. This is our first episode of the NBA. I'm your host Brody, and I'm joined here with Jacob,
How's it going?
and I'm also joined here with Chris.
What up, dudes? Let's get it going.
All right.
That guy.
So, the first thing that we're gonna get into here is talking about some of the games that happened yesterday and some of the ones that happened today. Let's see here. Which one do I want to start with? I'll start with the Pistons and Pacers. Andre Drummond had, did what he did. He had 23 rebounds, but I think he surprised everybody last night with putting up 32 points as well.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, big man. Andre Drummond's one of the best, if not the best, rebounder in the league at the moment. And, he doesn't. He's got D Rose on the squad now, so that's some help. And Luke Kennard, in his sophomore
Kennard
season,
went off too.
popping off. So he has a little bit more offensive help. And even like Tony Snell actually kind of surprised me a little bit. But anyway, like Drummond, he'll always do his thing on the boards. He'll always get you 15, 20 boards a night. And I would have to agree with you. The offensive, it was a little bit surprising for 30 and 20, a 30-20 game. So it'll be interesting to see how well he does over the course of the season. Granted, he stays healthy. Plus, you got to remember Blake Griffin was out, and he'll be out until the beginning of November. So that probably also had a little bit of factor in his offensive production. But overall, his game's still looking solid, and he's still relatively young. I think he's 26, 27, something like that. So
it was just every time I think of Andre Drummond, I don't think he still has him anymore. But there for the first couple years that he was in the league, he was wearing braces in his teeth.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
just
he
thought
has
that
them
was
anymore.
hilarious.
But yeah.
It's pretty surprising he had half of their rebounds. They only had 45 last night, and he had 23 of them.
Yeah.
That's a big thing right there.
He dropped 21 and 12 tonight against the Hawks, so still popping off. Derrick Rose doing his thing still. Dropped 27 tonight, but
Well, that right there might be a little surprise playoff team come
Pistons?
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were
Who knows?
they 8 seed? They played the Bucks the first round, right, last year? I believe. I think they got no, they may have taken one game off the Bucks. But this year, yeah, especially if Blake Griffin comes back and stays healthy for the whole season. I think you're right. I think they got good offensive production, and they'll have Blake and D Rose and Luke Kennard, and then they'll have defense down low of Drummond. So,
Just need D Rose to stay healthy all year.
Yeah, that'll be the downfall of the Pistons is if injuries. If they can stay healthy.
Yeah,
They can keep Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond up for sure. They should be decent.
Yeah.
But also having those other guys like Luke Kennard who can hit the three, and then Derrick Rose doing his thing. Maybe not looking like prime Derrick Rose, but at least, probably 3/4 of what he used to look like.
He's just not. He just doesn't have that bounce in his step, but he's still like an efficient scorer.
Yeah.
So, I think he's still got it.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, they played against the Pacers, and their top player from the night was Domantas Sabonis.
Yeah.
He had 27 points, 13 rebounds, as well as 2 assists. He had a pretty good game as well. He had from that game, his PER was a 33.38.
Yeah. Yeah,
Looks
that's
like Miles Turner didn't do that bad.
Miles Turner had a nasty step back.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, big
Yes.
man. Yeah, big man
Big
stepping
man.
back.
Big man with a step back.
Yeah, I'm
Hey,
telling you,
when-
man. Miles Turner's always been known as like that defensive big, but having a step back 3 like that and being able to put up, he dropped 25 points. So going there, they'll be a good offensive team, and especially once they get Oladipo back, they'll be solid on both ends of the floor. Because you got Miles Turner, Jeremy Lamb, and then you'll have Oladipo back. But the 2 signings that the Pacers got in Brogdon and Sabonis showed, at least for the first game of the season, that 1, Sabonis was worth the extension, and then 2, that Brogdon can be a serviceable point guard. He dropped 22 points, 11 assists. So they had 3 20-point scorers, and all of their starters got into double digits. So even though they got beat by the Pistons, I think the Pacers, especially once they get Victor Oladipo back, they'll be a I would say top 4, top 5 seed in the East. If I had to guess, that would be my prediction, at least at the moment.
They got Depot back, and everybody played like they did tonight. Or not tonight, last night.
Right.
That team's probably going to be a problem.
Yeah. No, for sure. I
It
agree.
could be a problem.
I agree.
That's kind of one of those well-orchestrated teams that I bet a lot of teams might look over because you've only got really one star on that team in Oladipo. But Sabonis is making his presence felt this year.
Yeah, Miles Turner's starting to grow into. I mean, he's
Might be hitting his prime.
4 years
Early.
in
That'd
the
be
league,
good for him.
5 years in the league, 4 years in the league. He's super young, so
Let's see. He's 23.
yeah. So
So
probably
technically,
He's
what?
my age.
probably 3-4 years in the league.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's popping off. What'd you think about Celtics Sixers game? I know Brody and we watched that probably like this. We got to pick up the second half of it.
Yeah, I think I watched the fourth quarter.
What'd you think about that game? I mean, just from like the back end of that we got to catch.
From what I saw, anytime Ben Simmons had the ball, he was downhill every time,
Dude looked
pushing
hungry.
the paint
Yeah,
every time.
every time. Not once did he look up at the goal when he was behind the 3-point line. Not even one time. No, he was straight attacking, and I mean, that's his game. Like, I mean, obviously you want him to develop a jumper, and I mean mid range he's got a little bit of a jumper, but you want hopefully your point guard to at least hit a 3. But if that's his game,
At the end of the day, when you go back and look at Ben Simmons' averages and everything, without hitting a 3, it's just incredible that he averages over 20 points without taking a 3 or even making one.
Yeah, 11 of 16 from the floor, 24, 9 and 8 split. So, I mean, that's his game. Don't change it. If it's working, it's working. They're just like what I notice is that their defense is really good, especially with adding Josh Richardson and Al Horford. I think Al Horford was a big signing just because he's kind of like Ben Simmons is the floor general, but Al Horford's like that. He's like the cornerstone, the backbone. He's not going to
veteran.
Exactly. He's not going to put up 20 points a game. He'll get you maybe 10, 12, and 6 assists, 6 boards. But he's just like he's got that experience. He's a heck of a defender. I know last year Joel Embiid was saying that was the one dude that he hated going up against was Al Horford just because he was the one that gave him the most trouble. So that was now he's on his team. So
he was considered like the only player that could stop really Joel Embiid like every time he went down the floor or had a chance to.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to pick against them. I mean, I know you got the Bucks and Giannis, but the Sixers are so tall and long, and they're so deep that I think in a 7-game series, I don't know. I know Giannis has Middleton and Bledsoe, but I mean, you got Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, Al Horford, Jay Rich, Mike Scott. I mean, and
Top to
then
bottom, I'd definitely say the 76ers are more stacked.
yeah. So it'll be hard to pick against them. I don't know. What about you, Chris? I don't know if you got to pick up much of that game, but
I didn't pick up a lot, but I mean, I don't know if they have like a good 3-point like shot, but I don't. From last night, it didn't look like they had a good one.
I mean,
I mean,
Josh Richardson's probably their best 3-point shooter.
and he went 0 for 4 last night.
Yeah, he didn't look too good.
I mean, I didn't catch the game last night because the MLB game was on, so I was watching that. But
that may be their
from looking
only,
at the stats, their 3-point did not look good at all last night.
yeah, that may be the only thing that they run
Making
into
lack at.
is spacing because Ben Simmons obviously ain't taking a three. I mean, Al Horford and Joel Embiid, if you're counting on them to hit your threes, I mean, they can hit them, but that's not what you want. And then I have a feeling Tobias and Josh Richardson will settle into form, so they'll have a little bit of spacing there. But they're missing J.J. Redick, who they had last year, who would come in and get you literally 18 points to 21 points just off threes every night. So
well, the good thing about the Sixers, I mean, you shoot a lot of threes. They have big guys to get rebounds, so
yeah,
it's not really that makes up for missing threes.
Yeah,
Two of them had over 10 plus rebounds, and Ben Simmons can get rebounds, but he had 8. But
yeah, no, I think they'll be fine. They held the Celtics, who have a lot more offensive promise than most teams, to 93 points, and they shut down Kemba.
yeah, he did not have a good night. I saw some highlights. I mean, I didn't really see a lot of highlights, but he didn't. I mean, he looked all right, but not to where he usually is.
Yeah,
I mean, 1 from 6 from the 3, and then 4 for 18 on field goals. Like, it didn't look too hot.
It did give, since Kimba didn't do too well, Gordon Hayward actually showed out for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
He put up 25 points.
That was good to see.
Yeah.
I like Gordon. I hope he comes. I hope he has that level of production all season. I like Gordon and Jason Tatum too. I know
Young gun.
freshman year he was, rookie year he was hyped up, blocked LeBron. Everybody was, saying this dude's the real deal. And then he had a little bit of a sophomore slump to where, he wasn't doing as good. So I think that's a little chip on his shoulder that he's going to carry in. And I mean, if Gordon can step into form and Jason Tatum plays up
Better
to what we
than last
know,
year.
up to what we know he can do, then you have Kimba and Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart, who are locking down the defensive side of the ball, and then you have Carson Edwards, who may not. He's a rookie, he may not see a lot of times, but I know they were just talking about how he can literally be on the court for 10 minutes and go on like a 9-0 run by himself by just hitting like back-to-back-to-back threes. So it's definitely, I think, a 3-man race in the East between the Sixers, Bucks, and Celtics. I don't really see a whole lot of teams making it to the finals other than that. I mean, like the Pacers could make a run in the playoffs, but I don't think they'd reach the finals. But I guess we'll just have to see, barring injuries.
Well, Celtics, if they're going to do it, they need to clean up on their free throws. They only shot 58%.
Yes.
Which means not bad, but
that's horrible.
You got to pick it up. Yeah, you got to pick that up.
That's horrible.
That could cost. I mean, they lost. Making some more free throws could have been a very close game or a different game.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it's not like they have bad free throw shooters. I mean, like Marcus Smart's an 80% free throw. Kemba's like an 88. Like most of the guys can
shot 81%.
Yeah, most of the guys can knock it down, and just I don't know what it was, but 58 from the line is, I mean, that is literally the definition of, a win or a loss. Like 12 free throws. I mean, they shot at one point they were like 12 of 24. I mean,
jeez,
you ain't winning ball games if you're missing that many free throws. I mean, Arkansas basketball last year didn't miss that much free throws, so gotta kind of step it up.
Yeah, that's not a good. good sign if you can't make free throws. I mean, that can cost you a game.
Yeah.
You know, on the line, you need one free throw to tie it, want to win it, but you can't make them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess the next matchup that we've got to talk about is the Timberwolves against the Nets.
That was one heck of a ball game.
Yes, it was. Kyrie putting up 50 and an L.
Yep.
Karl Anthony Towns, 36 points, 14 rebounds.
Yep.
A heck of a game by Kyrie and a heck of an effort. But
what more can you do?
yep.
I mean, and he had a good look at the end to win the ball game. He
Yep.
just hit off rim. It I think from what because I think we were watching it was either the Sixers or the Celtics, or we were watching the Nuggets and the Blazers while that game was going on, and we would just get updates and be like, Kyrie's dropped like 26 in the first half. Oh, Kyrie's got 40. Oh, no, Kyrie's got 50. And
Yep. And then they lost.
and then they lost. I mean, the Nets, I think, even without KD, will still be a decent team in the East. I think they're a playoff team because
They should be.
Yeah.
Got Kyrie, Joe
Right.
Harris, Jared Allen. That's a good group right
Karis
there, just
LeVert.
naming those three.
Karis LeVert, I think, is their second best player right now, without KD. I mean, he dropped 20 points. Wasn't necessarily an efficient night for him, but dropped 20 points. I think they just like defense. They're young, and I just
Well, you know, we kind of know what cost them the game if you look at the game stats. They only shot 57% on the free throw line.
again
So they would have made more, they could have won.
Yeah.
Timberwolves shot 78, so free throw, that's a big margin. I mean, Nets could have probably pulled it out. I didn't watch the game, but you know, you make more free throws, obviously. How close the game was, you definitely could have won.
Yeah, that's definitely literally they lost by 1 point in OT. So shooting 50% from the line, not gonna win you ball games. I mean, literally they had to knock down 2 extra free throws to shoot like 59% from the field.
Yeah,
Would have pulled out with a dub, but Timberwolves low key surprised me there. Wiggins doing his thing, dropping 21 and 8. So I mean, so I will say that's always been one thing about Wiggins is he's like always been like an 18 to 22 point scorer. Like people I think just overhyped him coming into the league saying he's the next LeBron James. But I mean,
about that.
that's literally what they were calling him when he came.
They
into the
really
league.
did?
Yeah, they were comparing him
Oh,
to
yeah.
LeBron because he got drafted by the Cavs. Everybody was
yeah.
comparing him next LeBron James because I mean he was a freak in college at Kansas.
Yeah,
But
he was.
I mean he still puts up, stats. Like he may not be the most efficient, but he's still giving you 20 plus points a night. So at least that's nice. Plus they added, or well, not added, but they still got Rocco. And I think if they could upgrade their point guard, no offense to Jeff Teague, but he's getting old. If
Yeah,
they
he
could
is
upgrade their
getting
point guard, because they got a really young bench in like Josh Okogie, Jarrett Culver, who's a rookie, Jake Layman. So I don't know if they're. It'll be interesting. I still think the East is wide open after the top like 4 seeds. So really, I think besides the Hornets, I think anybody can really make a run for getting into the playoffs.
stuff for that.
Just one thing real quick. The biggest problem I think with Wiggins is that he never tries. He doesn't exploit his ability to be great in the NBA. In college, you saw it all the time. But once he got to the NBA, yeah, he's scoring about 20 points. But I feel as though everybody thinks that he can be a lot better than that. He can be an all-star every year if he wanted to. He has the ability, but he never shows it. Like tonight, 21 points. But he had a plus minus of negative 26.
I think
Yeah.
it's confidence. I literally think it's confidence. I think after him coming in the league and not doing as good as he was hyped up to be. I think that kind of took a toll on his confidence. So I think he's just got to get. Plus, I think Jimmy Butler last year or 2 years.
Yeah, he
I
probably
think,
messed all of them up.
I think Jimmy got inside Wiggins' head a little bit after spanking him with the third stringers. So I think he just needs a little confidence boost. Plus, it doesn't help that Cat saying he wants to team up with D'Lo and D-Book. Doesn't really necessarily, you know.
Yeah, but he still balled out though. I mean,
Right.
still just gotta play your game. I mean, that's what you
Yeah,
gotta
I
do.
agree. So I think I would have to agree with you, Brett. I think if Wiggins played to his full potential, I think he could be a 25 plus point scorer a night. 8 and 5 maybe. He just needs to attack more. He's just
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
He settled for 4 threes and didn't make a single one.
Yeah.
See, I think Timberwolves are better with Derrick Rose, and they also wasn't that when they also had Jimmy too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but he wasn't there last year.
He's on the
Derrick
Derrick
Sixers
Rose
last year.
was.
Yeah, but
Um,
Derrick Rose was good on that team. He did pretty good.
Yeah, no, he jumped his career high with the Timberwolves. I think that losing Derrick Rose definitely hurt. I think they're kind of hoping that their rookie Jarrett Culver steps into that role of, being able to drop 18 points a night. I think they're just working him in though.
Yeah, 16 minutes, 2 for 5 on field goals, and 0 for 2 on threes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they,
2 rebounds and 0 assists.
they don't really have any scoring off the bench, so they're just not very deep. So it'll be a interesting to see how they, what place they are at the end of the year.
Facts. What's the next game?
So the next game that we will talk about. We'll talk about the Thunder and Jazz.
All right.
Thunder and Jazz.
Donovan Mitchell had himself a night with 32 points and 12 rebounds.
Yep.
And so did Chris Paul with 22 and 8 rebounds and 3 assists.
Which is weird.
Yeah,
Like
it is.
usually you see CP3 dropping like 10 plus assists and
Yeah.
3 boards, not switched. But good to see him. Good to see him out there dropping points along with Gallo and SGA. I think they had. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to them running, CP3 and SGA out on the court at the same time, and running Dennis Schroeder off the bench. I think that makes them a deeper team.
I think they do that to get the best players out there because Shea definitely needs to be a start.
I agree. I don't think they're going to do as bad as people project them to do. I mean, everybody's saying, they lost Paul George and Russell Westbrook.
That team barely made the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, they still have Steven Adams. They picked up Gallinari, who's coming off a career year. They picked up Chris Paul, who's not a bad player. He just has a bad contract. He's still, yes, he has hamstring problems, but he's still he's one of the greatest point guards of all time.
He's one of the best hands of all time too.
Top 10, top 15 point guard. I mean, the dude can dish, and the dude can score. So, Chris Paul's nice. SGA is a nice young piece, and they have Dennis Schroeder, who's a good point guard off the bench. They have Nerlens Noel, who's a good defender off the bench. So, I think they'll be a 6 to 8 seed. I think they'll still get in the playoffs.
I definitely think they're still a playoff team.
Yeah.
But if they're thinking that they lost so many pieces, I mean, yeah, you lost Paul George and Russ, but you still barely made the playoffs last year. I'm pretty sure you can still make the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
Even as stacked as the West is, you can probably still sneak in.
Meanwhile, the Jazz, I think the Jazz will be a good team out in the West. I just I need to see a little more from Mike Conley.
I was about to say, as long as Mike Conley doesn't suck.
Poor guy. I mean, they still pulled out the dub with Mike Conley going 1 for 16 from the floor.
Jeez.
I mean,
Do you have a good
why?
defensive game?
Um,
Get you any steals?
1 steal.
Hmm.
He had 5 points, five assists, 1 steal, and the blocks. But I will say, I think he'll settle in fine, and I think that him and Mitchell will be a good backcourt tandem.
Maybe it's just nerves.
Could be. That team will be good defensively.
Hey, Royce shot for 6 for 6 on field goals and 2 for 2 on 3-points.
Royce
And had 5
O'Neal.
rebounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't do that bad.
Yeah, I think
He made all his shots.
they're definitely a playoff team, no doubt about it.
I'm gonna say they'll probably be like the 4th seed in the West.
I mean, I think you got the Clippers, Lakers at 1 and 2 interchangeable, barring nobody gets hurt. I think those two are the top 2 teams, and then
And that's actually really tough. I don't know if I want to put them at 4.
you got the Nuggets
And the Trailblazers.
and the Trailblazers and the Rockets. I mean, the West is for sure stacked. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. If everybody stays healthy, that is going to be one heck of a race to see who gets seeded where.
Yeah.
So, I will say the Suns starting off strong with a 30-point dub.
Yep, they are. Nice double-double from Devin Booker.
Mm-hmm.
22 points, 10 assists.
Yep. I think
Help get it done.
I think having Ricky Rubio definitely helps. He actually has a decent point guard now.
Well, the biggest thing with that was they didn't have a true point guard in years past to run that. And that's what DeAndre Ayton needed. But it's not going to matter now because pretty much half their season's gone because DeAndre Ayton failed the drug test.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a big blow for the Suns. It'd be interesting to see if he tries to appeal that because
I think he will.
Wasn't it for he was taking like a water-based pill for high blood pressure?
Diuretic or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Hang on.
From what Chris told me, it sounds like it's more
Diuretic.
I think it's kind of for diabetes, certain kind or something like that.
Sounds like it's needed for health, like his actual health, like his well-being. But I could be wrong. Maybe he was taking it in a different.
It says it makes your heart, work easier. But they don't want that. They want to see people die and pass out for some reason.
I guess we'll just
get some more, give us some more revenue.
I guess we'll just have to see how that plays out. I don't know. From what I was the little bit that I was reading, it doesn't sound like it's a drug that they should be worried about. But who knows?
Well, I read too, or I saw on Twitter, someone said like you can't even find that in a drug test whenever they test for it. So I don't know what all happened with that.
But
was it all a setup? That's the real.
But yeah, they're like, Sun's gonna be too good. You gotta get this guy out.
Yeah, that's probably what they're thinking. I mean, they won't beat. I think they'll win more than. I think they'll be around a 35 win team this year.
They'll definitely have some improvement, I think, with Rubio back there at point guard.
Yeah.
But I think if DeAndre Ayton didn't get suspended, I mean, he might appeal it and not, but let's say right now that he doesn't, that team, I think, won 40, 45 games.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, they're
I
young.
agree with you, Brody.
So, you never know. I mean, Nuggets Trailblazers, we got to watch that game. That was
Yeah, that was a great game.
that was a heck of a game.
I thought it was gonna come down to the wire again. I
Yeah.
thought Damian Lillard was gonna clutch it out, hit a 35-foot three for the win, but they did lose. However, Damian Lillard had a great game, 32 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists. And then Nikola Jokic in 24 minutes had 20 points, 13 rebounds, and 2 assists. He only played 4 minutes in the first half due to foul trouble.
About to say, when we were watching that game, he literally drew 3 fouls in like the first 3 minutes of the game. 1
Yep.
offensive, 2 defensive, and so he literally sat out the whole game or the whole first half, and he comes back and still does his thing, which I think shows how deep the Nuggets actually are.
Yeah. They're a very deep team, and Nuggets are just one of those teams that you don't really, just because of years past, just associate with being a good team.
Yeah, they
But all these other new guys that have come in here, Jokic, Murray, Gary Harris, some others as well.
yeah. I mean, having Jamal Murray securing the bag, getting that nice payday. I think he's supposed to have a big year, and then you have the Joker. But their bench is where it's like Monte Morris coming off. Having Monte Morris as a backup point guard is not a bad thing. I mean, he's probably one of the better backup point guards in the league. And then Miles Plumlee had to play a lot more than he probably was used to.
You
But
got your veteran and Paul Millsap as well.
yes, yeah, Paul Millsap brings some defense. So the Nuggets had a top 3 seed. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they squeaked in a 2 seed. They got
I was
the
hoping
talent
they would
good.
win it all last year. I was pulling for them the whole time.
Yeah, they could
They
have,
looked good last year at the end, toward the end.
but you know, what can you say?
I wonder if they'll be a slow team again this year. They were like the slowest team, like in terms of time on offense. They had like the most, which means that they were the slowest.
Yeah, they're not necessarily fast paced.
Yeah.
Probably, just because like they like to run through Jokic and run sets out of the in the paint, so they'll divvy him down the ball, and then they'll start running their sets, and they give him the freedom to either back down in the post or to distribute it out to an open man, which we saw a couple times last night. So I don't think they change necessarily from that. Jokic is too good. He's too good of a passing big man to steer away from that. Plus, you have to worry about his offensive firepower, so you have to guard him close and sometimes double team, and he's good enough to find that open guy. So I think they'll still be a top 3 team.
For sure. I think Jokic is the best passing center in the league.
Yeah.
And you've gotta run your sets through him, even if it is in the post, not like a traditional top of the key or anything like that. Because he's gonna find whoever's open whenever he's in the post.
I mean, he can still run it from the top of the post. I mean, he can hit the 3, so that's just
That
what's
is
scary
true.
about him. He's not the most coordinated dude on the court.
No, he looks funny.
Like a big
He
old
looks so funny.
clunky dude, but
He gets
sure
the
got
job
skill.
done.
That he does. That he does. Indeed. Did you see Luka cross up Bradley Beal last night?
Yeah.
That was dirty.
It was a good one.
They called a foul on Jalen Brunson. I watched the replay. I don't know about that one. I think Bradley Beal kind of bit the dust on that one. I think he got his ankles crossed a little bit. But Luka dropped 32?
34.
34?
34, 9 rebounds, 3 assists.
Him and Porzingis, it's gonna be a fun duo. Dude, Luka dropped 34. Kristaps dropped 23, and then the rest of the starters combined dropped 9.
Jeez.
That's
crazy.
really a 2-man operation there.
Well, okay, so they scored 108 points. those two scored 57. So they
Yeah.
scored over half of their team's points.
Yep.
They'll it'll be fun to watch those two. I don't know if they'll be a playoff team. West is incredibly stacked, but
I don't think they will because they have no help.
yeah,
It's just them two. That's
which it'll be fun to watch those two this year.
in terms of points, your closest person to you is Dorian Finney-Smith and Justin Jackson
So
at
they
10.
dropped 10. Yeah. Yeah, no
That's
help.
not good.
No, that's never good. Never good. But it'll be fun to watch those two. It's nice to finally see Kristaps come back after I
Yeah.
think it's been like 2 years since he's been hurt.
It just feels weird because he was in New York and nobody really watched the Knicks.
Yeah.
So to me, it never seemed that long. I'm sure for Knicks fans it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Having something positive to look at.
Mhm. For real. Yeah.
What about the Hornets? We're going to talk about the Hornets.
Starting off the year with the dub.
PJ Washington
I mean,
stroking it.
they played the Bulls, but yeah. I mean, the I don't know how to go off the Hornets. I mean, I don't think they're going to be very good. PJ Washington, 27 points in his debut. Not half bad. Not half bad. Terry Rozier, on the other hand, going 2 for 10 from the field, is not what you like to see,
Yikes.
especially after paying the man. So they're super young too. I mean, Malik Monk, Devontae Graham, Miles Bridges, Dwayne Bacon, PJ Washington, they're extremely, extremely young, and so are the Bulls. So I think those two teams are going to be probably on the lower end of the East. Lauri Markkanen doing his thing out there, dropping 35. Nice to see him go out there and do his thing. He doesn't have a whole lot of help.
Well,
Zach
you could-
LaVine was horrible. Well, not horrible, but I mean, he only dropped 16, which, last year he started off averaging like close to 30.
Yeah,
So,
he had a great year last year.
yeah.
I don't know, for Laurie to really have help, he's gonna need Wendell Carter and Zach LaVine to really play good this year for them to even think about making the playoffs, in my eyes.
And Otto Porter. I mean, people forget that he was
Yeah,
a good third option on the Wizards behind John Wall and Bradley Beal. Like, he could give you like 15 to 20 a night. So,
honestly, what I think they should do is move Zach LaVine to shooting guard and take Tomas Satoransky out of the lineup and start Kobe White.
they might do that.
I mean, that's what I would do. I mean, I would start Kobe White at the 1 just because Zach LaVine needs to be at the 2. He needs to be taking shots.
Yeah. I think they'll probably wind up doing that because, and they may move Satoransky to the 3 because he's 6'7", and I think his secondary position is small forward. And he could come off the bench with Chris Dunn and Ryan Arcidiacono running the point guards, and then they have Luke Cornett, Thad Young, as well. So I mean, I think if you switch Satoransky and Kobe White, they may squeak in as an 8 seed. You never know. I think it'll take Wendell Carter to stay healthy over the entire year. It's been his problem, just staying healthy. But Hornets, I see no promise even with the win. That's just
No.
that's just me.
You
They could
got-
surprise, but
You got a couple bright spots. I mean, PJ Washington, Dwayne Bacon had a good game. So did Devontae Graham.
well,
Those 3 guys had really good games.
Dwayne Bacon had an all right. I mean, he was 8 of 21 and 2 for 8 from 3. I guess he hit free throws. What was his thing?
He was 4 for 6.
But yeah, they're just, I don't know, they're just young. They could surprise us. You never know. Maybe MJ somehow they squeak in as an 8 seed, but I don't know. I don't see it.
He's gonna get this little secret drink from the Looney Tunes and give it to him.
Yeah.
They need it.
They're gonna turn into all stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
In their eyes.
Whatever you say there, boss.
Got any more games you want to talk about?
No, not really.
No, I mean, I thought the Pelicans played pretty good.
Yeah, they look good, especially without Zion.
Yeah.
It'll
So
be
They play yesterday?
Yeah,
Or
they played
today.
against the Raptors, and
they
I think
played
that was
2 days
yesterday.
ago.
Yeah, a couple days ago.
Tuesday?
Yeah, they took him to OT,
Yeah,
but couldn't pull it off because Fred VanVleet the GOAT dropping 34. But
yeah.
Brandon Ingram looked good, dropping 22. JJ, who came from the Sixers, like I said, dropped 16, literally doing his thing. Josh Hart off the bench had 15 and 10. Other than that, Drew Holiday was kind of slacking. Lonzo had 8, 5, and 5. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. It depends on how long Zion's out. They said anywhere from like mid-December to maybe the start of January. So that's gonna hurt.
I know everyone was so hyped to watch him, and then that just happened.
Yeah, Charles Barkley and Nike. There, did you see that they're trying to get him to cut weight, and they think that's why he's injury prone. It's because he's too heavy.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can see that.
Did
6'6",
see that.
285 playing basketball, and you have like a 90-inch vertical. That could probably take some tolls on your knees.
There was some
Facts.
stuff that I saw. There was an article, I didn't click on it, but it said, could this be the end of Zion Williamson's career?
Oh my gosh.
Be like a Derrick Rose always hurt.
I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Zion is too strong, and I don't know. It's hard to compare it to like. It's hard to say because we really don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't think that an injury like this is gonna make him, pretty much retire and not be able to play anymore.
I think
think
they're just
he's-
being over protective and over cautious.
I think so too.
because they don't want to rush him. I mean, he is literally aside from like Giannis and AD, like the going to be the face of the league come down the
Coming down the
line.
road, yeah.
So I don't think they want to rush to get him hurt and pull a Derrick Rose because that's going to be they're going to lose out on a lot of money.
Yeah,
So
a lot.
So, since we're talking about Zion, we've got to talk about the rookies. And what have we seen so far? Who do y'all think as of right now is probably going to win rookie of the year?
Well, I'll let you go first, Jacob.
okay. It all depends. If Zion comes back earlier than expected, I think he has a shot at it. But right now, I'm gonna go with RJ Barrett. Because one, Zion's hurt, and two, the Knicks don't have a whole lot of offensive firepower, if you will. They don't have a lot of guys that can score in big bunches or take over a game. So I think that opens up the floor for him to basically take control. They got a lot of like vets and whatnot on the squad, and some guys off the bench, but I think he dropped 32.
Hang on.
No, 20.
Who,
21.
RJ?
21.
21, 5, and 2 for the man RJ. And I mean, the only other really rookies that I could see maybe contending would be like Kobe White or maybe Tyler Hero. But at the moment, I think just because RJ can do a lot more than just score, whether it be playing defense, dishing the ball, and rebounding, my pick at the moment would be RJ Barrett to win Rookie of the Year.
So
Okay.
you're not putting John Morant in that discussion?
No, I think I just don't know if he can put the whole entire weight. I think just simply because I think RJ Barrett has more help, where it relieves a lot of pressure off of him. To whereas the Grizzlies are literally horrible and literally have no help. Um,
They base Rookie of the Year off team success too, right?
it has a little bit to do with it, but I think it's more of just statistics and like how they play. But I will say though, I mean Trae Young and Luka had similar numbers, but I believe the Mavs did better than the Hawks last year, and that's why he may have won. But Ja put up 14, 4, and 4. I don't know. I'm gonna go with RJ Barrett as my pick to win Rookie of the Year, just because he has a little more help to take some pressure off of him. That's what I gotta say.
Well, mine's kind of similar. I'm gonna go with mine's gonna be Zion, depending on if he comes back earlier. But if he doesn't, I'm gonna actually go with John Morant. I mean, yeah, his team's not good, but I mean, if they're not good, he can basically just shine out and ball out on offense. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with John Morant or Zion. If Zion comes back early, or maybe it just depends on how he comes back, I think he'll win it. But if not, John Morant.
My thing, just real quick, is that if Zion comes back in like late December, January, and puts up the similar stats to like Ja Morant or RJ Barrett, and they give it to Zion, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that.
Yeah,
Because
I see where you're coming from because
But
that's
I don't
kind of
think they would
dumb.
do that. I think they
Well-
would only give it to him if he exceeded them.
well, I don't know. Just simply because for the story. I mean, it's Zion Williamson. He's so hyped. I think some people would be like, "Well, Zion was hurt the first 2 months of the season. He comes back and he drops, 20 points, 8
Hey, you can
rebounds,
sit out
8
the rest of the
assists."
year and just pull a Ben Simmons.
Could
For
they'd
Rookie of
lose
the
too
Year
much
next
money
year.
on that, but I don't
Yeah.
know. But I'm gonna go with RJ. Chris, you said Zion or John. What about you, Brody?
Mm. I am gonna say RJ as well. Now, if Zion didn't get hurt, I would have said Zion.
Right, Sam.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all three of us would agree. If Zion didn't get hurt, this discussion would have been pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it would have been the fastest discussion ever.
Yeah, but I do like John Morant as well. But as you were saying, Jacob, I think when it gets down to the nitty gritty and they're looking at team success as well as stats, I think the Knicks are probably going to be better than Memphis this year, and they'd rather go with somebody that's on a better team.
Yeah.
So I'm taking RJ.
I think my
Alright.
two dark horses would be Kobe White and Tyler Hero.
Yeah, I thought about going Tyler, and I was like, nah, I'm going to go with Joe.
Because Memphis really, or not Memphis, Miami really doesn't have any buddy besides Jimmy that can take over a game. Besides Kendrick Nunn? What's his first name? That the dude that dropped 40 on the Rockets in preseason.
Yeah.
He dropped 24 points against the Grizzlies.
Might be your next
What's his name? Kendrick
next
Nunn.
big time.
Yeah.
Next big timer.
But I keep forgetting they have Justice Winslow. Point Justice back to
Justice
his
Winslow
thing.
had a good game.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah, 27, 7, and 7. I'm telling you, man. They're running Gordon off the bench and playing Justice at point. I think that makes them a better team.
It does, definitely, because when I used to watch Miami like last year, whenever they were on, and just playing with them as well, with Goran out there at point guard, it just doesn't feel right with him
Yeah.
out there at point guard. I don't know why, but it just seems a little off.
Just getting old.
Yeah. Yep.
Trying to think of other rooks that got to see the floor to not like big time. We already said Kobe dropped 17. Tyler did his thing with 14.
BJ had 27 points.
Yeah. One for the Trailblazers. I can't remember if he's a rookie this year or last year. Would this have been considered the 2019 draft or the 2018 draft?
Wouldn't it be the 2018? Well, they drafted when? Like, no,
So it was a 2019 draft.
it was probably 2019. Yeah.
Okay, never mind. I was just saying Anthony Simons looks good for the Trailblazers, but he's a sophomore, so
Yeah.
Yeah, he performed pretty well. I think a lot of his stuff was in the second half, if I remember right.
yeah, he just showed promise. I mean, he only had like 5.7 boards or something like that, but he showed his athletic ability with that one little up and under layup. That was pretty clean.
Yeah, now I remember him.
Yeah.
He his biggest deal was he was selling for threes
Mhm.
whenever he's that athletic with that up and under, like you were saying. He just needs to drive the basket more.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's all I can think of on the rooks, or at least that's all I got. Nobody else really.
Sticks out.
Yeah, nobody really stood out. Well, we'll say Trey Young's doing his thing right now. I got him on my fantasy team, and that boy is he's got 38.7 boards and 9 assists, and they beat the Pistons by 7. So the Pistons have already suffered 2 losses, less than 10 points to start off the year.
Jeez.
It's tough.
That sucks.
That is
It
tough.
does.
Missing Blake Griffin. But yeah, you were asking Chris something. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh, I didn't know if you still had anything else to say, but the only deal with Trey Young is he's just so short. Makes him a defensive liability against taller guards. That's the only problem with
Well,
Trey Young.
I mean, if he can shoot like Steph,
It don't really matter.
It don't
it
matter
don't
at
matter
all.
if he's giving you 40 points a night. It don't
I
really
mean, look
matter.
at James Harden. Don't play defense. Don't matter.
Yeah, literally. So,
He did have is this their first game?
yes,
Atlanta's.
I believe so.
Yeah. He had a steal, but he did have 6 turnovers.
Yeah,
That's not good.
the Hawks, I
It's-
think, will be really good next year. I think they'll be a decent team this year. I think they'll squeak into the playoffs, but I think next year, as long as they don't trade anybody away, I think they'll be a good team.
Let's see. I definitely think so too. They've got a bunch of or 2 great young pieces, Trey Young and John Collins. Really light the league on fire. I think give him a year
Kevin
or
Herter,
2.
Cam Reddish,
Kevin, yep. Those 2 as well. Forgot about them.
Vince Carter.
Yeah, he's gonna light it on fire again.
Mm-hmm.
Dunk over Joel Embiid.
Ooh, Jabari Parker. I always forget, man. I always forget they have Jabari Parker.
Goated.
Yeah.
So, we got anything else to talk about in that
interesting.
category?
The rookies? Nah, that's pretty much all
Nah,
I-
yeah.
We already kind of talked about big performances. We talked about Kyrie. We talked about Donovan Mitchell, Andre Drummond. Want to talk about Kawhi or skip that?
I mean, he's
He's doing Kawhi things.
Hey.
He's-
I've been seeing that one.
Yeah. What it do, baby?
he
Yeah.
just did his thing, like 27, 7 and 8 or whatever.
Yeah, it's just doing what he
Eh,
always does.
I mean,
Yep.
Clippers are
And
gonna be
Paul
good.
George is out, right?
Yeah, he has shoulder
Hello?
surgery. There you go. Kind of froze
Okay,
on us there a second.
I was lagging.
He
Yeah.
yeah, he had shoulder surgery on both shoulders. So he'll be out for another 3 weeks, I think is what it said. So we got a little bit of time for it to be the Kawhi show.
Yeah.
So I mean, people freaking out about how LeBron's career is going down the drain. He had 18, 9, and 8. He almost put up a triple double. So
He ain't really got to try.
Not
I mean,
bad.
he ain't got
Not
to put
going
as
down
much.
the drain.
literally,
What are they
I mean, he
talking
has
about?
AD, Danny Green. I mean, he has so much more help now. So like,
He
I
ain't got to
think
try
people
as
just
hard.
sit back. I know you're a LeBron fan. I mean, I'm just a neutral fan when it comes to. I just like watching talent. I think he's probably
Wait, who's a LeBron fan?
Brody.
Oh, bro,
Yeah.
you're a LeBron fan? Oh.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't talk about it as much, but I've always liked watching LeBron play. I just think it's a beautiful game to see him in there just creating all these shots, not just for himself, but all of his teammates, getting them all involved and being able to be a leader out on the floor.
His playmaking ability is almost unmatched. I mean,
Mhm.
for his size, I mean, he's if it ever came down to a GOAT discussion between like him and MJ, at the end of his career, I think the thing that would make him, of course, I don't know because MJ's a better defender, so you can say LeBron's a better playmaker, MJ's a better defender. But we don't get into that. It's just I just love watching good game, and LeBron's got good game.
I mean, you can kind of almost compare it to like the NFL with Tom Brady and Drew Brees, because you know MJ was really clutch in the playoffs and championships, and then
Yeah.
like Tom Brady was.
Yep. There was always two different sides, always two different ways of going about it.
Well,
Drew
they both
Brees,
played in different time areas.
Drew Brees, statistically, not counting Super Bowls, probably is better. But when you include championships, I mean, it doesn't come close.
No, but then that's
And that's probably the same way that people talk about MJ against LeBron. Well,
yeah.
MJ's got 6, LeBron's only got 3.
Team-based game, man.
Yeah.
That's why I hate that's why I hate the rings discussion because I mean you could pick a number of people who have won chips, getting
Man,
carried.
Bill Russell's goated.
Yeah, I mean if you're going off championships, Bill Russell's better than Michael Jordan. I mean, or you can say all these guys that are goats that haven't won rings, they're not as good as, like Anderson Varejao, is better than Charles Barkley because he has a ring. So I just
Yeah,
hate the ring
that's
discussion.
stupid.
It's literally like if you take a player and his set of skills and another player and his set of skills, which one's overall is better? And who would win like in a I don't know if you could do a 1v1 against those two just because LeBron's literally bigger, faster, stronger, and more athletic. So
Yeah.
I don't think that would work. But I mean, they played two different positions in two different time eras. So
Yeah.
it's hard to compare them. I mean,
It's all about era.
yeah. So
Plus,
plus he had a lot more help than LeBron's teams have. I mean, yes, he's had like Bosch and Wade or Kyrie and Kevin Love, but that was pretty much it. So, and he also took his uh, that Cavs team, who I can't name a single player other than Anderson Varejao, to the playoffs.
His dad?
Yeah, his dad. His dad. Oh my gosh.
I don't remember what his name is.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. I gotta Google this. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
But LeBron's definitely while you're doing that, LeBron is definitely I think this year he's probably going to have a more efficient year. He's probably not going to put up 28 points a game. He'll probably be closer to the 20-point margin. But I think he's going to I think he could low key average a triple double this season. Cuz he's probably not going to need to score as much with AD, Danny Green, Kuzma. So he'll be able to make more, dishing out the
Yeah.
ball, getting rebounds. So I think it'll be a good season. A lot of the firepower, the star power has been spread out amongst the league with the dynamic duos. So I think it'll be a decent year.
Just to tell you, it was Delonte West.
Goat.
And then there's a picture of whose dad was better, Curry or LeBron's, and it's got a picture of Dale and Delonte West right next to each other.
My.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you want to do some award predictions?
Sure. Let's get right into it. We'll start with MVP.
MVP. I got Giannis. I think Giannis is winning MVP this year.
He does have the
So-
best odds. As of right, what day was this? Okay, this was on June 18th. Wait. Yeah. June 18th, Bleacher Report did their NBA MVP odds for this season. Giannis had the best. Harden had the second best. Kawhi had third. Steph fourth. AD seventh or fifth, and then LeBron sixth.
Yeah, I'm still
Well,
gonna go with
AD
Giannis.
and LeBron were tied for fifth.
I'm gonna go with Giannis as well because like most valuable player. If we're gonna take it by its definition, I think it's got to be Giannis. I mean, for Kawhi, sure he's valuable, but you have Paul George on the squad as well. So you lose Kawhi, you still have PG. Same with LeBron or AD. You lose either one, you have the other. Same with Harden. You lose Harden, you still have Westbrook. Lose Westbrook, still got Harden. Giannis, you lose Giannis, you have Eric Bledsoe and Chris Middleton. I mean,
You go
that's
from a top team to might make the playoffs.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Chris. I think it's Giannis. If he doesn't get hurt, I think he wins back to back. Just because I think I think LeBron should have way more than his 4 MVPs.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the definition of the trophy, of the award as most valuable player, it should be given to the most valuable player. But, they just want to, I'm not going to get into that jazz and Hubernacki, but I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna say Giannis. What about you, Brody?
I've got to take Giannis as well. Like you said, he is the most valuable player. Without him on the Bucks, the Bucks may not even be a playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like looking at LeBron. Wherever LeBron went back in the day, when he went from Miami back to Cleveland, Cleveland was terrible with just Kyrie.
Yeah.
And then LeBron came along, and boom, they're in the finals that year.
Well, and Miami fell off. They went from being, champions to bottom feeders. So that's what I'm just saying. Oh, excuse me. My bad. I don't know if I can pick Giannis anymore. They have the Lopez twins. I keep forgetting that. Robin and Brooke. My bad. Always forget
Still
that.
taking Giannis. Still taking Giannis even with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got a mascot fighter and a 7-footer that can pull a 3.
My.
But he'll be the next person to go back to back. The last person to do it was Steph Curry, and before that it was LeBron. So he'll be joining some elite talent there, more elite talent if he can go back to back this year.
And we can hear James Harden cry again how he should have won.
Yep. Which it sucks. What if he puts up 40 this year and doesn't win?
I mean, it's not just about who can score the most points per game. It's the most
Yep.
valuable player. So he can
Yep.
put up 40 points all he wants, but if he's a liability on defense and that's all he cares about scoring, then he ain't gonna win MVP.
Yep.
I think Russ makes him a better team, but I think that hurts his MVP odds. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
What about what is it? What are you gonna do next? Defensive Player of the Year?
We can do that.
I'm gonna go with really the only one I know stands out. I'm gonna go with Joel Embiid to be Defensive Player of the Year.
Okay,
Bit of a dark horse, but I like it.
I like it. I got three. I got Kawhi, Rudy Gobert, and it's hard. I may just want to go between those two.
That's who
I
I'm
was
picking
gonna
from.
say AD as well.
I don't think he'll.
Um,
I think he might be in the running for a while, but I don't think he's gonna be able to sustain it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with. Man, I think I'm
Because
actually gonna go with Rudy, simply because Kawhi has Paul George, who's also one of the best defenders, and Pat Bev, who's also one of the better defenders. So I'm gonna go with Rudy, who won it last year, correct?
yeah,
So
and the year before that,
I can't remember that,
or was that Kawhi?
but
No, Kawhi was hurt.
it been Rudy. I'm gonna go with Rudy. I'm gonna go with Big
Well,
Booty Rudy.
you can go either way with it. I'm gonna take Kawhi, but you could also argue that Rudy has some top defensive players as well, with Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell.
Right.
But I see where you're coming from because Rudy Gobert's the best defensive center in the league.
Yeah. I mean, it would
But
surprise me if, like, Paul George, like, if he comes back and does his thing, would surprise me if he wins.
yep,
I mean, Marcus
either.
Smart's low-key a dark horse, too.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hate the dude, but, I mean,
I don't know. I just couldn't pick him. He's a flopper. I can't stand floppers.
you're a LeBron
Just
fan,
can't.
though.
True.
Well, I'm also a Dwayne Wade fan.
Ah, yeah, there you go.
LeBron used to be really bad. I don't know if he still does it as bad as he used to.
I think LeBron just knows the game and knows what the refs are looking for, so I think he's
Mhm.
just smart. Yeah, sure, it's annoying, but you got to exploit all you can.
Now, there's that, and then being a James Harden fan.
What he can do, as in scoring, is incredible. I'm not gonna try and deny it.
Oh, it is. He's like at a different level, like above everybody else in terms of, oh, I can make a one-footed three
Yeah.
that I'm
Yeah.
bringing out this year. Oh, I
Idiot.
can do this double step back to where it's apparently not a travel.
Yeah. I don't know. It's I don't know. What's the next?
We can do 6-man.
Okay,
This
so
sounds really quick.
We all gonna have this one.
give it to Lou Will
Lou Will.
for the Lou Will Award.
All right. What's next?
Most improved.
I'm gonna go doing a little research. Guy who really stood out. I'm gonna go with I don't know how to say his last name, but Bam. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his last name.
Bam Adebayo.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with him.
It's a good pick.
I think he'll win Most Improved.
Oh my gosh, man. I don't even know. I mean, Bam's actually a really good, strong candidate for MIP. I think Fred VanVleet could low-key win MIP. Kind of as a darker horse. Just losing Kawhi. I mean, he dropped 34 for his opener. So, I mean, you have that, and then I was gonna say like Malik Monk or Miles Bridges, but
What about Terry Rozier or whatever from Charlotte?
Rozier? No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean,
No.
he has a shot being the starter.
He was
Now,
hyped up because Kyrie went out and he destroyed for a couple games.
like Linsanity. I'm gonna go. Man, I'm gonna go Miles Bridges as my most improved.
Okay, I
Well,
like it.
my pick originally, and I guess I'm just going to stick with it because I honestly don't know who else I'm going to pick, is Marvin Bagley. Marvin Bagley could possibly get it. He averaged 14 points and 7 rebounds last year. I definitely think he can improve to maybe like an 18 or 19 point scorer this game and probably average a double-double
How long is he out? Didn't he get hurt?
4 to 6 weeks.
What did he fracture his thumb?
Yeah.
4 to 6 weeks. Yeah, no, that's a good pick. I like that.
I could also see Bam though. If Marvin Bagley's gonna be out like a full 6 weeks or something, I'd probably give it to Bam Adebayo.
Yeah, no, that's a good pick. I think Bam, Hassan Whiteside moving for him to, be more of a starter and a solidified starter. I think Bam's got a good shot. I think he may. I mean, he may surprise. He could average 20 points, 10, 12 rebounds. We'll just have to see.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What else we got? Coach of the year.
Well, I have two. I have like one kind of side and then one main. My side one, I think. I hope this is the coach for him, but Doc Rivers, the Clippers coach.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Kawhi kind of helps him get the coach of the year. But that's my side. My main one's gonna be Mike Malone, just because last year he did really good with the Nuggets. I don't know if he actually won last year. I know he was in the race, but I don't know if he won. But like y'all said earlier, Nuggets are kind of one of those teams that are just good somehow. When you look at their roster. But I think Mike Malone will win it this year. I think he's done really good at the Nuggets.
Okay, yeah, I like Mike Malone. I was gonna go Doc Rivers, but I think I'm gonna go Frank Vogel, first year at the Lakers.
Oh yeah, I forgot they got a new coach.
So that's who I'm gonna go with.
Damn you. That's who I was gonna go.
Frank Vogel.
Ah.
I mean, you can pick Frank if that's who you're gonna think. You don't have to pick somebody different.
I know, but I like to have a different pick just so. Oh, these two tied.
Well, here
All
you
right, well,
take
then you
Frank
have to pick
Vogel.
someone else.
I'll take Doc. I'll take Doc Rivers.
No.
All right, we have to
Yeah.
go back to Lou Will, and everyone had to repick them.
That's such a. I don't know what's going on with ESPN.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm just taking Frank Vogel. Whatever.
Yeah.
We want the same pick. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I definitely see it being between Doc Rivers or Frank Vogel. That's just the way that I interpret it.
Yeah.
Because normally Coach of the Year goes to the most successful team. And those two teams are going to be the most successful, I believe, in the West.
Yeah.
It's just determined by who gets the one or two.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. That's all the
Well,
awards, right?
MVP, Rookie of the Year.
Defense, six-man, most improved, and coach.
Yeah.
Well, I guess are we done?
That's all I got to. That's all I got to say.
Chris, you got anything?
I mean, we can do if you want to do what a surprise team that will like surprise us, or you want to predict, who goes to the finals. But if not, I mean, that's cool.
It's not gonna be a surprise. I
I
guarantee
don't
it.
know if there's going to be necessarily a surprise team, just because like every team that's projected to like make the playoffs in the West, just about any of them could win the West. It would be
West winning it all this year.
it would be a tiny shock to see like the Lakers or Clippers not make the finals, but like if the Nuggets, Trailblazers, Warriors, Rockets, Jazz, like if any of those made it, it's not really going to be a huge shock. And then the East, I don't see any team making the finals other than the Celtics, Sixers, or
Yeah.
the Bucks. Those are literally the only three teams that I see. So, I mean, the only teams that would like surprise me would be like the Bulls or the Hornets. Like if one of those two teams like made the playoffs and made a run, that would be shocking. But other than that, I don't really see anything happen.
I'll say the two teams that I want to see and should see are. I'm going to say the Lakers and 76ers in the finals. That's what I'd like to see.
Oh, well, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's
I think Bucks might can get in, but I don't know if they have enough.
yeah. No, I can see
It'd be a
it.
good showdown, too.
Yeah.
Yerp.
So is that it?
That's everything.
That's all I got, man.
All right. Well, this has been our first NBA podcast. Leave us a like, drop a comment, tell us how we did. Guys, you got anything you want to say before we get out?
Please share this video. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Hit that
Text
little
message.
subscribe button, man. Takes half a
Show some
second.
love.
Appreciate it. Show the love. And
Yeah.
like Brody said, feel free to drop a comment and literally anything that can help us out. We're
Give us
we're
some
new.
pointers.
Yeah, we're new to this, so we're just doing this for fun. So, just let us know.
Pro tips.
Pro
Pro
tips.
tips.
Gang.
Well,
All
all
right.
right. This is it. We're signing off. Until next time, guys. See ya.
See ya.
Later.